everybody, I decided today would be a good day to do my 9 to 11 week Teen Mom update. So just a quick rewind, my last update, I talked about how everything was going really well and I was really happy and I thought things would go well for me at that point. So basically what happened after all that happiness wore off was I was at my aunt's house babysitting her two stepchildren, and I go on and I check my Facebook, and the guy I was with at the time, keep in mind I was 15 and 9 weeks to 11 weeks, somewhere in there, pregnant. And I go on my Facebook, and the guy I was with at the time totally fucking cheated on me. Like, at first I didn't believe it, but back then, I don't remember if we had screenshots or whatever, but she had sent me, like, some actual legit proof, like Facebook messages and text messages to prove that he was indeed being unfaithful to me. And at this point, I was really upset. I was crushed because I was 15 years old, and I thought that this guy was going to... Well, one, this guy was the father of my child, and I really thought that things would work out with this guy, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that we would be together, you know, and when I found that out, like, luckily my Aunt Sarah, she had got home, and I went outside and I just sat in her yard and I just started crying because I was so upset, you know. I thought that it felt like my world was falling apart around me. It felt like these walls that I had built up in like this little home-like structure were just falling down, and I picked up I flew off. I went on Facebook and I put my relationship status as single, which was a big deal back then, which shows how mature I was. But no, I set my relationship status as single, and I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I am done. I called him, and I'm just like, you know, I know that you were cheating on me with this girl. Dan was like, oh no, I wasn't cheating on you, baby, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why are you fucking lying to my face? Well, not my face, but my ear, because I was on the phone with him. But it pissed me off because I knew he was lying, and I'm like, you know, I flew off the handle, like, I know you're lying. And he started crying, and he's like, I'm so sorry, baby, can you please forgive me, and blah, 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 and a whole bunch of other crap was going on at the time, too. Like, my mom was trying to get me to move to Pennsylvania, and I was totally against it at the time because I didn't want to go. I felt like my mom was just doing it to rip me away from my family and torment me more, which wasn't true. Like, why would you move 3 states away just to torment your kid? You wouldn't. But I was really fighting back. Like, I called a couple different people, like the police department and DCFS and things like that, just to know what my rights were. Like, can I stay? Can I just tell her to, like, kiss my ass? And, you know, I just, like, I was so emotionally distraught. My mom called me afterwards, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna make you, you know, you gotta move to Pennsylvania, and you're gonna leave Dan behind. And I just went the fuck off on her. I was like, I called DCFS on you, and you can't take me there, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other, and whatever else. And she's like, well, you just now ruined it because I was gonna say that Dan could go live with us out there and stuff like that. And honestly, I was so emotionally torn apart that I didn't know what I want. Like, I was fighting with my mom, I was fighting with him, I was fighting with everybody else, and the worst part is that nobody knew what was going on except for me. Like, I didn't tell my mom or my aunt or anything like that because I didn't want them to think that I was stupid for staying with him. You know, and I was, but I didn't want them to think that because I was so desperate for things to work out that I would do anything, say anything, you know, go anywhere to make it work out for him and I and the child that we were going to have together, because I didn't really grow up with a dad, you know, and that wasn't you know, that's another story within itself, but I didn't really grow up with a dad, so my mom, you know, she was all I had, and, you know, my relationship with her was shit, and I was hoping that my child would have better. My child would have different. Things would be different for my child, and it just, like, I can almost feel myself as my 15-year-old self, like, how I was feeling then, and how upset I was then, and how I would have done anything and given anything for that relationship to work out and be happy and healthy, but it just, he cheated on me, like, while I was pregnant. And he made it pretty clear that he didn't really care. Like, it almost seemed like he wanted it to work it out just for the novelty of telling everybody that, oh, yeah, it worked out, and I'm a good dad, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other bullshit. But I guess it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, I can't change it, but I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope you enjoy my stories. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and stuff like that, as it helps my channel out a lot. My next video will be probably up to 18-ish weeks, because I can't, you know what I mean, like, I don't have a weekly update on this kind of thing. That's kind of why I'm going in chunks, because I don't want to, like, just make a 1 minute long video. And I'm also kind of basing this off of a diary that I wrote. Like, I'm kind of trying to include that into this, like, my emotions and stuff like that, which actually this video did kind of bring up some of those old emotions, you know, because that was a hard time for me. That was a hard time in my life, you know. So anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video.